Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's well. It's Monday. No, Dodie, I wish they found them, but there was just a big update, a press update that the sheriff just did a few moments ago. Hello, always like good to see you guys. There was an update just a few moments ago, and I wanted to share that with you. We do know that they have just released information pertaining to the guard, the female guard, that she has a warrant out for her arrest now. We also know that that was her last day of work. Yes, it is confirmed. It was her last day of work. She took her retirement and she booked. So, did she plan, was this, to me, it sounds like it was probably planned, but, we still don't know. Yeah, I think so, Dodie. I really think so. So we're going to watch that press conference that they did just a few moments ago. Yeah, they are together. If they got married, which they can, but she wouldn't have to change her last name. It would still be White because both of their last name is the exact same. So yeah, it's good to see everyone. It's Monday. So we're going to watch this press conference that just kicked off just a little bit ago, actually. And this is day 4. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, let me make it bigger.
I do have a little new information to pass to you. I know that we've been talking over the last few days about Anderson video surveillance in the area where the crowbar was found last Friday afternoon. We did have one success in that. We see the patrol car parked at the intersection of Huntsville Road and Cotton Street Parkway, which is about 2 blocks from the location of the found. That video was time stamped at 9:49 a.m. Director White and Casey White left the detention center at 9:41 a.m. That's 8 minutes. Time tells us is that the patrol car left the detention center and went straight to the parking lot. There was not enough time for them to even attempt to try to come to the courthouse and then get out there and be at that red light 8 minutes later. So the direction of travel was from the courthouse, from the detention center directly out Huntsville Road to Cotton Street and then to the Farm Square shopping parking lot. The other thing that I want to make you aware of today is that we have had a warrant issued for Director Vicky White. The charges are permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. That's Alabama Code 13A 2034. So there is an active warrant out for Ms. White, obviously for Casey White. So we're in hopes that we'll get some much needed breaks here in the next few hours, few days that will help us locate them and get them back here to Lauderdale County and get Casey White, especially behind bars. Casey White, as you've heard me say over and over, is an extremely dangerous person, and we need to get him located and get him off the street. So again, thank you for all your help in that. At this time, I want to issue to the U.S. Marshal for the Northern District of Alabama, Marty Keeley. Marty's, as I said, his fugitive task force has been a tremendous asset to us, not only in this case, but in cases over the years, and we appreciate all their assistance and help. So, Marty, Mr. Marshal.
Thank you, Sheriff. I just want to add that the Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task.
Okay, so that was the sheriff speaking, and he did confirm that they both had warrants out for their arrest, that the prisoner, Mr. White, he is a very dangerous man, 6'9", 6'9". So he is definitely tall. Yes, a giant. I don't I don't understand how, especially a correctional officer, I mean, they clearly can't be thinking rationally because they know they're going to get caught. They always get caught. I'll never get it.
Task Force, U.S. Marshal Service, Gulf Coast Task Force is assisting the sheriff and his deputies in this investigation. They've been a partner of the Marshal Service for many years now. I would like to emphasize that this case is now a major case for the United States Marshal Service, which helped to facilitate the reward for information, up to $10,000 for information leading to the location of either one of these particular suspects or subjects. I would like to ask the public to keep in mind that Casey White is a large individual. He is 6 feet 9 inches tall. You know, there is the possibility that he's changed his identity as far as his looks, but he will stand out at 6 feet 9 inches. So I want to emphasize that to the public. Again, that information or any information about this case can be reported to 911, and that is the way you should report it. You shouldn't try to approach either one of these individuals. We consider both of them dangerous, and in all probability, both individuals are armed. Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, at this time, I'll be glad to take a few questions. And my media policy for the years that I was chief of police in Florence and the sheriff has been, it's on the table, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If there's an investigative or legal reason I can't answer your question, I'll let you know. Yes.
What was the interaction between the two in that surveillance video that you saw?
Actually, the surveillance video was not clear. It was from a distance and really couldn't make out any individuals per se, but we definitely know it was a patrol car.
Was he sitting in the back of the patrol car or in front?
From the video camera footage we have, we can't tell, but I'm sure he was probably in the back. He was in the back when he left the jail. You know, to stop on the side of the road, all those roads are heavily traveled. Someone would have seen something and suspected something, I think. So we're assuming he remained in the back seat until they arrived at the parking lot.
Was he handcuffed when he went in the patrol car?
He was handcuffed and shackled.
Sheriff, any tips from the public so far? Anything that's helped you interpret this investigation?
We have gotten some tips, and of course, we're following every lead we get. You know, we've had some tips. I think I've let y'all know we've gotten some, a couple of tips on a possible vehicle. We're still pursuing that, trying to get a positive confirmation on a possible vehicle they switched into. But yes, we've gotten some information that's been helpful.
Have you been able to get in contact with his family so far?
We have.
Sheriff, Matt, jump in one here. You know, a lot of people here, of course, are following this, but there's folks across the country that are also following this. With the lead time that they had to get out ahead of this thing, those hours are important. What have you done to work with folks along the borders and airlines to make sure that maybe they didn't slip through those cracks?
Yeah. We have not, to my knowledge, unless the task force has, and I'm not aware of any touch with Canada or Mexican border or their countries. He did not have any identification with him. That's not to say he couldn't obtain some kind of identification or false identification, but he would certainly need identification to cross those borders. You know, but to my knowledge, we have not contacted, reached out to those countries.
Sheriff, the surveillance video, new video at the intersection, will that be released?
Actually, if we viewed it, we don't have a copy of it right now. Yeah, the company or the business that has the video, they have to bring their text in to download it and all that, so we haven't had time to get a copy of it. But we have seen it.
In light of this event, are you taking any evaluations like protocol for escorting inmates?
Well, protocols were in place. You know, we have a policy. It required two deputies transport. This was, you know, again, lends us to believe how it was orchestrated because we had two vans of inmates leave just minutes before Director White had Casey White brought up front. Both those vans had two deputies on them. One had 5 inmates, the other had 7 inmates. Minutes after the second van left, Director White instructed another corrections deputy to bring Casey White up, prepare him for transport. That's when they put the handcuffs and the shackles on him as is customary and protocol. She informed the booking officer that she was the only available person that was certified to carry arms to transport. So she was going to bring him to the courthouse, drop him off to the other deputies, and then go to a medical appointment. So, you know, that's why I'm sure that the booking officer didn't question it. She, after all, is her boss, and she coordinates all the transport. So, you know, that's sort of how that transpired. Yes, ma'am.
So is your investigation going with, now that there's a warrant, are you going with now more that she could possibly be involved, that he didn't coerce her, threaten her against her will? Is that still a possibility?
That he threatened her? You know, we know she participated.
Right.
You know, now whether she did that willingly or if she was coerced, threatened somehow to participate in this escape,
Not ruled out.
not really sure, but we know for sure she did participate. And, you know,
There's video stills released for his most recent appearance. Is that what we can expect him to look like now with the crew cut, not the water cut?
yeah, that photo was taken in the halls of the detention center Tuesday before they left on Friday. They're not related.
Is there any evidence that they had spoken before Friday?
We're looking into that.
Any comments?
We're reviewing video footage, phone calls, every avenue we have to see if there was any kind of relationship prior to this. Let me get this done.
Obviously, you guys, special deputies, work pretty closely with each other. To have this happen with one of your own, how upset are you? Do you feel betrayed at all with the way this is played out so far?
Well, absolutely. You know, if she did this willingly, you know, those of us who work with Vicky White and have worked with her for years, this is not the Vicky White we know by any stretch of the imagination. She has been an exemplary employee. I was told by the director of the jail that Friday night it was like he was at a funeral wake. The employees are just devastated that she was involved in this. and they're concerned for her safety, as are we. And we just hope that this has a good ending.
She just put in for her retirement of better than 16 years, right?
Yes, she'd been talking about retiring for 3 or 4 months, and and they've done some things. She did sell her home about a month ago, and talked about going to the beach. So we that's just everybody thought she was going to retire.
Right.
Nobody saw this coming.
In place for her to retire yet?
I'm sorry.
Did you yet have an effective date of retirement?
She was to retire that day. That was to be her last day at work.
So that's questionable.
Yeah. Now, over here. Yes, ma'am.
So, yes, that is correct. She sold her home about a month prior. It was her very last day of work. She had been talking about going to the beach with this guy, or with on her retirement rather. But we also have to understand, guys, this felon, they talk very sweet and very kind and very manipulative to swoon these officers to get them out. Now, what she needs to realize, he can change on a dime like that because his priority is him. It's not her. It is not her. I can promise you that. She may think it because she's been manipulated, but he could turn on her at any moment. I mean, she could even be dead. It's very possible. God forbid. We have no idea. Yeah, Lori, I hope she's safe too, but this guy has killed before, and he can do it and will do it again if he needs to. Yes, Cindy Lou, I would someone put in chat early, there is rumor that she did close even her bank accounts, a lot of her bank accounts. If she has a large sum of cash, it's very possible. It's very, very possible. So we just have to keep that in our minds. There's too much, there's really not coincidence in crime. So we got to keep that. When somebody goes to close, sell their home, retire early, she was talking about it 3 months. So this has probably been planned for quite a while now.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. He was brought here from the Department of Corrections on February the 25th. He has pending charges here for capital murder. There were some court proceedings scheduled between February the 25th and the end of May. He was brought here for those court appearances. When those appearances were concluded, he was then returned to the Department of Corrections.
Talk about the retirement. I understand that money had not been released. The retirement hadn't been released, but there's reason to believe that there was a significant amount of cash on hand.
No.
Have you been able to figure that out?
I think from the sale of her house, she possibly had access to some cash. The retirement papers were never sent into the state retirement system. She had to have a conference with the personnel director before that could happen. She never came in. They were turned in Thursday. She never came in, of course, before Friday. So those papers were never forwarded to the retirement system.
As part of the investigation, are you looking into the fact that they did have a romantic?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Marshall, can you say just how many people that you guys are bringing to bear also for this search and what you guys are doing right now as you see?
Yes, I said we've partnered with the Sheriff's Office for many years, and this is now a major case for the United States Marshal Service, which triggers additional resources. I won't go into the exact number that we have on site in other locations also. But as the Sheriff said, we are receiving tips. We're following up on each and every one of those tips. So we're fully committed to this investigation.
As a member of law enforcement, is it harder to maybe find that because she may know the tricks of the trade?
Well, obviously, she's been in corrections for 17 years, so she has knowledge that the general citizen would not have. I think that certainly played in her favor as far as getting him out of jail like she did. So, somebody,
Is there a medical condition of concern to you? She expressed that on Friday.
we don't think it was real. We think that was an excuse. Um, it's not unusual if we have an inmate that's not feeling, our employee's not feeling well, to take off or whatever. And she just reported that morning that she wasn't feeling well, so she's going to drop him off and go to one of the emergency care centers and get checked out.
Sheriff, maybe to the Marshal Service as well. Can you quantify the number of tips she received, whether any of those have been, substantiated, where they're coming from, reaching across the country, various states?
I just know we've gotten several tips. I don't keep a tally on the numbers, the investigative crew, and we have several on-site investigators, federal, state, local, that are following up on those tips. But to tell you how many, I don't know.
Sheriff, talking to some of the employees, has anyone said that they had any belief that she had a relationship of any kind?
No, not that we've been able to confirm at this point. We're still looking into that, reviewing phone calls, reviewing video from the jail to see if she spent any kind of extraordinary amount of time at his particular cell. She was in her job. She was throughout the detention center, on a regular basis, several times a day, walking the halls. So she had several opportunities each day to be in contact with any given inmate. We don't. If we knew where they were at, we would be there, not here. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean that sounded so short, I guess. I have talked with her son and given them my phone number and told them any questions they had, to not hesitate to reach out to me. We're committed to getting Casey White back in custody and back behind bars where he belongs. And her family, her two sons, have been through a lot of trauma the last 6-7 years. And we thought we had closure for them to a point, and now that's totally upside down. So I can't imagine what they're going through, knowing that the man that killed their mother is out loose on the streets again. A couple more questions.
Yes, we also have to think of the victim that he murdered, the family. I'm sure they are absolutely scared to death, knowing that this man is out on the loose right now, could be anywhere around them, and just knowing that the public's life is in danger and they have no idea where he is. So we also definitely need to take that into account. And someone mentioned a second ago, it is harder to run with multiple people. So a lot of times when jailmates escape, they'll split up. They don't want to make a big scene. They want to be very, inconspicuous and, hide out alone. They don't want a big crowd of people around them. It, tips people off to look more in depth. Yes, same age as the officer. That's right, Joy. Absolutely. Let's finish watching this.
Can you speak to his past escape experience? What that entails?
He was in our facility in 2020, and we got information that he was plotting an escape at that time. We followed up on that information. We shook him down, and we did find a shank in his position, the shank's a prison knife. And when we retrieved that, we immediately had him shipped back to the Department of Corrections. That was at the time, although we had a policy in place that 2 officers escort inmates at that time, we emphasized that policy with him. And Director White was aware of that, so she strictly violated.
And so just to clarify, you said that it was February of this year he had been called
Yes.
back to Florida.
February 25th. One more question. Yes.
Under Alabama law, inmate facing a capital sentence, would he be facing the death penalty?
Absolutely. That's what the capital murder charge is a possibility of death. So he has nothing to lose with his violent past. He is extremely dangerous. And I want to emphasize as much as I can. And we're concerned about everybody, but there's going to be some law enforcement officers somewhere in this country or this state that's going to come across this guy. And I can't emphasize enough to our brothers and sisters in blue, don't take any chances with this guy. He's dangerous. And I can't emphasize that enough to our fellow law enforcement officers across the country. If you encounter this guy, you need to know he is dangerous. Don't take any chances with him. Thank y'all again for coming out and helping us get the word out. We will capture them. They will be brought back to justice. And your assistance in helping us achieve that is greatly appreciated.
So that is the sheriff that is overseeing this. The U.S. Marshal Service is involved. They are amazing at hunting people down who, they need to find.
Right.
So, someone mentioned earlier that it feels like they need a new updated photo of the female officer, Mrs. White. She you need to see her kind of out of uniform as well. It has her hair
Not been seen
changed or
since
whatever.
Friday when he was being
But here is about the
Fireworks.
let me see if I can find about the
for a mental health
escaped
evaluation.
Sorry, about the escaped inmate. This was a news, the latest news on it.
The guard transferring him to the court broke policy by not using a second officer. Casey White and the deputy, Vicky White, no relation, have not been seen since. Casey serving 75 years for attempted murder, kidnapping, robbery, and burglary out of Limestone County. WVTM 13 has learned he tried to kill his ex-girlfriend in 2015. He also held 2 of her roommates hostage at gunpoint. Everyone made it out of that situation unhurt. White is also accused of killing someone else in 2015. And tonight, we're hearing from her family.
This is pretty shocking, I have to admit. But at the same time, if he doesn't have to make the trial, I mean, he's definitely a threat to the public.
WVTM's Maddie Davis with more from the family tonight as the search for Casey White becomes more and more desperate.
7 years ago, Austin Williams lost his mother, Connie Ridgway, after she was brutally stabbed in her home in Rogersville.
My mother, she was just such a nice person, kind of everybody's friend. This is the last person you expect anything to happen to.
For years, it was a cold case until 2020 when Casey White confessed to the crime. As White sat in the Lauderdale County Jail, Williams felt there was justice for his mother and awaited the day he would go on trial. Now that hope is gone after White escaped Friday morning.
It's shocking, and it's just like you just wonder how it's possible because we really wanted it to go to trial just so that we could hear more of the story.
He escaped with a corrections officer, Vicky White, who hasn't been seen or heard from since.
Turn yourself in before this gets any worse. No one else needs to get hurt. You need to turn yourself in as soon as possible.
Since Vicky White had a handgun, authorities assume Casey White is armed and dangerous. Williams has a warning for everyone.
Have someone like Casey, who's 6'6", 250 pounds, come into her apartment and stab her to death. That's the kind of person this is. This is the person you need to look out for.
The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office will hold a press conference Monday morning to update on the search for Casey White. Until he is found, Williams holds on to hope for the day his mother will finally get justice. In Birmingham, Maddie Davis, WVTM 13.
So, this, you just got to really give your heart out to that family. Just knowing that there is even a potential that the family may not get justice and that he could hurt someone else is something that, they've suffered so much already that, he has nothing at all to lose whatsoever. I agree, Hopi. Yes. In that picture, he kind of looks like Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers bobblehead that you'd order off Wish. Sweepy. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of, the sheriff may even be held accountable for this, or someone at least, that procedure was not taken correctly. She said that she felt bad that day. It was her last day at work, guys. It was her last day. Right? She said she needed to go to the doctor. Did she go to the doctor? Nope. Did he go to the doctor? Nope. Did either one of them have a doctor's appointment? Nope. So that leads me personally to believe that she is in on it, very pre-planned. I did not. Mo, I'm sorry. Let me go back and see. Trying to find it, Mo. I don't see it, honey. I'm sorry. She said doctors say a no-show. Yeah. White Widow baby, I don't know. Let's see if we can find that out. Let's see if this article. Fort Lauderdale police participated in the escape through, though it's unclear that whether she did so willingly or was coerced. The charges, let's see here. Singleton said Casey White was handcuffed and shackled when he and the officer left the jail Friday. He described Vicky White as an exemplary employee who had planned to retire up until her disappearance. The pair was discovered missing. The pair wasn't discovered until missing until 3:30 Friday afternoon, 6 hours after they left jail. Vicky White's vehicle was found in the parking lot of a nearby shopping center. So they must have gotten their vehicle somewhere and then ditched her vehicle. And then I have news on the one little youngster that was missing in my city. They found him. Oh God, Saint Mo. Oh, he drowned, or do they think it's suspicious? And where's the parents in this? Was it just did he escape out of the house or something, or was he not being watched? Yes, they both have the same last name. It's just a coincidence. They are not married. They are not related. It's just both of their last name is White. She must have really thought he loved her to do all that. Yeah, I mean, and who knows? He could have been trying this for years, trying to smooth her. She's been there 17 years, right? And he's been in there. He was sentenced in 2019 to 75 years in prison, right? 75 years in prison, 2019. Let me find this. So in 2019 to 75 years in prison. So she started working there, like 15, 17 years ago. So they could have had this kind of what you would call jail love affair. Exactly, only a hot second inside complicated. This could have been going on for a long time. Yes. 3 years of manipulating her. St. Mo says, yes, he drowned, and they have not released more information on, but he was not being watched. He was being able to wander down the street to the creek without anyone noticing. Aww. 3 years of manipulating her. Yes, the sheriff said that he was transferred there in February. Sweet B says the little boy drowned by accidental. They are counseling and grieving parents all day. Dad said it was an accident. Yeah. She looks completely different herself. I don't understand why they have not released a current photo of her. Does anybody have one of her? Does she have a fake? Well, no, I think she deleted all of her social media, actually. .6'9" tall with big ears. You know what they say about people who have big ears? Men? They say they have big ears. His past includes murdering women. You'd think she. You know what? You're exactly right, yes. I mean, it's, hey, you know, I've murdered someone before, he's saying, or, he did. And she's like, no, he won't murder me, though. He wouldn't murder me. He's too sweet. It don't work that way, girlfriend. Yummy, Hopi. It's hard to fathom someone throwing away their in retirement like that. And you know what? And she's going to be living her retirement probably, allegedly, in jail. Because they will be found. It would be very hard to get out of the country. He obviously does not have any forms of ID, I guess, other than a jailhouse ID, right? So, you don't have a passport unless you would, go through the border like the Rio Grande or something like that. But that is a very dangerous and also risky. Yes. She worked at jail. He was in prison. He only came there for court. So jail for a few months. Yeah, just in February, Jan. WAAY. Okay, has another photo. Let's check it out. We'll check it out and see if they. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much. Crime after crime. Thank you. So this is. See, to me, that looks, she looks way different here. I mean, she's recognizable, but, her poor kids, dealing with this. Nobody thought that she would ever do something like this. That's what makes it so crazy. I don't know if she has any mental conditions. You would think that, they would be evaluated every so often of having mental conditions, but who knows? She worked at jail. He was in prison. He only came there for the court. So, okay, I already read that one. Sorry. If I was her, I would call the police him if she is able to, or maybe he took the gun from her. Well, they're supposed to be considered armed and extremely dangerous. Yes, if you guys will hit the thumbs up for my dad joke, I would greatly appreciate it. She was left with a murderer. So my guess is she has, yeah, right? Always late, exactly. If you pull all your retirement out, leave your own family, sell your house, clear your social media, your bank accounts, there's, you might have a little screw loose, allegedly. Wonder if she pulled out a lot of money. He's going to off her and take the money and the weapon. It's very, very possible. That's right. A con is a con. To be a con, you have to be a liar. So he is a murderer and a liar. And the sheriff said, oh my God, law enforcement out there, someone is going to come in contact with this guy. Consider them both very dangerous. He was just transferred there in February, and he only had 2 months to convince her. She had to be desperate for all that. As a correctional officer and knowing better, 2 months is not. Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it's only 2 months. So, and it's funny how the sheriff said he's like, she started talking about retirement about 2 or 3 months ago. So that fits. She may have got him ID as they have same surname. One of the yes, or I mean they could have made a good fake ID maybe. Who knows? If they knew somebody who could make the fake IDs. Exactly right, Sweet B. She was in the position of power. Guards are always considered that. That's why they train them so men don't overpower women and women don't use their sexuality on their inmates. Very good point. They could have been corresponding through mail. She would use a different name and P.O. box. Happens more than we realize. My ex was a correctional officer. That's very interesting. So what Tony is saying is they could have been, sending each other letters using her a different name, a different PO box, whatever. And I'm sure that they write their letters in some type of way, like a code or something. Sometimes, at least. Well, White Widow Baby says, I don't think she'll be found alive, in my opinion, and I hate to say that, but given his history and charges, that's why he's in jail. It's not good. It's very, very possible. Blue alert for them to put out a blue alert They fear she is dead. Really? Let's look up Blue Alert. Hmm. Okay. If I am looking at the correct thing, the term Blue Alert means information will be sent through the network relating to the following: the serious injury or death of a law enforcement officer on the line, an officer who is missing in connection with the officer's official duties, an immediate and credible threat that an individual intends to cause serious injury or death of a law enforcement officer. So, yes, you could definitely take it that way, in my opinion. Oh, thank you so much, Connie. Kind of. Thank you, Heather. I'll just thank you. Oh, Cinnamon, thank you. I did not see yours. I was probably gabbing. I don't know where it is. Okay. Thank you, Cinnamon Hot as well. And Cinnamon says they can walk right into Mexico with no papers, but in all other countries, there are cartel members that hunt fugitives full time. Now, I don't know. Wow. Sorry, I'm behind on my comments. That's why I didn't see that. Yeah. She was a law enforcement for 25 years. Yes. That's possible if it hasn't already expired, or they could have found somebody to just kind of change it, maybe. That's a good question, Candy's Cupcakes. They have not stated. But with this Blue Alert, they're saying that, excuse me, that there could be immediate and credible threat that an individual intends to cause serious injury or death of a law enforcement officer. Sweet Bee says, my brother in law used to work in the Wyoming State Pen. They couldn't carry guns. He worked there for many years until they got too many death row inmates. Then he couldn't defend himself anymore. Wow. Now, if you're transferring, you can definitely have a gun, I would think, right? Hey, Fluffy. I agree. Yes, I agree. People think a man or a woman is more important than their kids. Not a chance. Not a chance. If they make it to Mexico, they'll be, if they make it to Mexico, yes. Diamond Paul, he is charged with capital murder. Capital murder, which can carry the death penalty in Alabama. They would be caught if she's alive. They knew everywhere. Sorry. By now. Men should be guarding men and women should be guarding women. Yes. And Peter Rabbit, they have stated that, this broke protocol, but this has also happened, many times. They said she was a very nice woman. And like the sheriff said, he said yesterday the inmates felt like it was more of a funeral, that they just felt like they've lost a friend, because did they actually really even know her? It really depends on how tight security is there. It might be super simple and easy for them to communicate. You never know. A lot of government places are in need of people too, so maybe it's just lax. That there is a lot of jobs available right now throughout the country. So, everybody is shorthanded by far right now. And so, they just may be short staffed. I think so, Cupcake. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate your thumbs up, hon. Allison, this happened in Alabama. He was able to manipulate her. I've changed. I want the chance to be the good person who takes care of you, question mark. She fell for that fantasy. Yeah, I think you're right. That happened here in Oklahoma. Warden wife ran off with an inmate. Oh my God. Seriously, Fluffy? The warden's wife ran off with an inmate. Dear Lord. It is a lot of knowledge. Definitely is a lot of knowledge. Good grandma, tell her to please be safe. All right, let me just make sure there's nothing else. Inmate danger is once he gets away, he's going to have no qualm killing her and going on his own. In my opinion, that's why it's blue. She is helping or being bribed to help him. It's very possible. Where'd my mouse go? It is very, very possible. Wouldn't that be a shame? Like, if he helped her out and then he murdered her, and that would be another life. Or even if he murders someone else, but if he murdered her and she thought they was in love, can you imagine her children? Can you imagine the family that their mother was taken from them several years ago? So yeah. So guys, did you guys watch the this is off topic, but did you guys watch the Winona Judd uh, into the Country Music Hall of Fame Oh, thank you, Saint Mo. Okay, so apparently the mother was catching the 1-year-old, was watching, sorry, the 1-year-old, and the baby inside started crying. So she went, tended to the child indoors, and left the 1-year-old outside. That's when you, oh my God, Mo. Oh, terrible. You know, it's, oh, um, it's, I just cannot even imagine. Hold on 1 second. I need to change my. But did you guys watch the Hall of Fame? Yes, Purple Knights. Um, you can tell me that later. One second. All right. Not to be insensitive because I would absolutely be devastated, but I also can't imagine leaving. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. I mean, my kids are 8 years old. I do not let them play inside or outside. Inside or outside. It was. I felt so bad for, Winona and Ashley. You could tell that they were just raw. Thank God. I see. Anyone else seeing the death? Okay, guys, listen. Is Amber Heard, is she taking the stand today? Does anybody know? I cannot freaking wait to see that. Cannot wait. Nosy Parker, you're absolutely right. I cannot imagine like my kids driving. I just can't imagine. Wednesday. Thank you, White Widow. Amber Turd. It's gonna be good. Yes. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. I am going to go play in the yard a little bit, actually. So, fun times, right? If anything happens between now and tonight, I'll come live. Her police car was later found in a used car parking lot, so obviously they abandoned it. Yes, that's exactly right. They did find the her original car. So I'm sure that they kind of know what she's driving. I'm sure there's had to be some type of video surveillance on a stoplight or something, a toll. When Winona started quoting scripture, I was reminded of that. Heather, I have not started my new channel yet. I plan on starting it. So All right. Love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. If it's beautiful where you are, get outside for a few minutes, put your earphones in, and enjoy, get some sun. Okay? Wear your pearls too, honey. Wear your pearls too, honey. I sent you a funny plant video today, just watch it. You did, Hopi? Okay. I will. Thank you, hon. Love you. I see you. All right. Love you guys. Hey, Fluffy. Honey, how are you? Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.